Doc,
Hmm?
again, honestly, again,
What? Just let me know when we're live.
we are live right now.
Oh, that's just a gag we do. I knew we were live the whole time. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dr. RPG, starring me, Dr. RPG, and the lovely Susie. Say
Thank
hi,
you so much
Susie.
for that Thank you so much for that introduction, Doc. I'm sure the lovely viewers and listeners know who I am by now, or at least I'd hope they would.
I'll never again tell you what to do. I apologize.
Good.
So, welcome to the show where we give you, adventurers across the multiverse, listening of your own volition or not, advice to make you the best adventurer that you can be. You'll notice that there are a few changes. Well, you might not see them, but I promise later you'll hear them. And the reason that you'll hear them is because we have been sponsored by a mysterious benefactor. So, unfortunately, I don't have any ads to read for you. I don't really know much about the sponsor, but they did spruce some things up around here. You know,
They did, and we should probably stop expounding on potential hints of who they might be, just for everyone's safety. Everyone's safety.
Everyone's safety. So we won't talk about that anymore. But I'm just very glad to see that this show has been piquing the interest of many, many interesting and powerful people all over the place. And I think we're starting to make a difference, and that's all that counts. So instead of wasting time, I am just going to start working on the portal here to bring forth a guest that I think is going to be just the sort of keen mind that we need to help you all get a little bit over the edge and become truly epic, truly legendary. So just give me a moment here while I start to work on the circle. And I promise, I'm not going to open the gate to hell this time, I think. There we go. Hello!
Hello?
Welcome to Dr. RPG. Yes, hello.
Ew.
Ew.
Who are you?
No. I'm Dr.
Where
RPG.
is this?
Doc, we did speak about notifying our guests in advance so they're not put on the spot and forced to perform in front of thousands of people. We did talk about this.
I mean, well, first off, I think we're looking at a little bit more than a couple thousand. And also, I told... Yes, more than 1,000. And I totally warned her ahead of time. Right?
No, excuse me. Explain yourself.
I am so very sorry for the doctor here. If he didn't explain to you, this is Dr. RPG. For all that's worth, he's an advice giver to adventurers of the like from across the realms and universes and multiverses. He's reached out to you as an expert to contact.
Well, at least you have good taste. It's a pleasure to be
Finally, someone recognizes my gifts. So, hello, adventure that I know everything about. For the people that don't know everything about you, can we have your name, perhaps?
I am Lalonde Dumont of the House Dumont. You must have heard of us.
Yes, we have. We're very knowledgeable about the House of Decot? Defont?
Oh, Dumont. Oh, this is so sad. Are you illiterate?
No, I'm a doctor.
Oh, like a real one, or do you just give advice?
I'm a real doctor.
Oh, okay. If you say
No,
so.
I like this one. Can we keep her as a
No,
permanent guest?
no. I am a real doctor. I've gone to schools, and I am qualified to give all the advice that I have been. Don't, Miss Dumont. is mistaken, but it's okay. The teleportation can be a little wonky on the mind, is all.
Oh, yeah.
So, Lalonde, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Why do you feel qualified to give advice to adventurers all across the multiverse?
Oh, that is simple. I am merely better than everyone that is not a Dumont. I'm faster, I'm smarter, I'm stronger. So I am the one to come to.
I mean, you're not very modest, but
Excuse me?
it's great. Huh?
I am modest as well. I bragged about it, didn't I?
I mean, but that you can't, because if you're modest, never mind. So, so are you gifted with the arcane arts, divine arts? What prowess do you have beyond simply being a Dumont?
Oh, let's see. I'm a cleric. Some would say my power is almost heavenly, divine, almost, not literally.
I've known a cleric or two, not one myself, but I think a holy person's perspective will be something that will truly be of use to the adventurers that we'll be helping here today. So, yes, Lalonde?
Oh, just saying, of course, you are right. I will be a help today.
Thank you. So, why don't we jump into it? How do you feel, Susie? Do you have any questions for Lalonde before we start helping our callers?
First of all, would you like to come to my dinner party? Open invitation anytime you like. Second of all, no more questions. She's perfect.
You've never once invited me to your dinner parties. You know I want to go.
It's a very elite sort of party. I'm sorry, you don't quite meet the criteria. Not yet, anyway. Work harder, get the show off the ground, and maybe I'll consider it.
Fine. Well, in that case, let's if we're gonna get the show off the ground, then we should start by helping people. So, what do you say?
Hello, Dr. RPG. My name is Aethelfrith, and I'm just from living that small town, provincial life, well, small village really. And recently, a bunch of out-of-town people came through, which is very unusual for us, especially in winter. But one of them, most of them are very strange, but one of them is very nice. She's a lady knight. And she's been helping investigate all of the mysterious murders, deaths, monsters, and dark magics that have been happening around town lately. And while doing this investigating, she and I have had some moments together, just small moments. I don't even know if she noticed them, but I think I'm falling for her. I think I'm falling for her pretty hard. And I've tried to show her how I feel. I've made her some sweet buns, and I've got great buns, but I don't think she really, 'cause she's not from around here, so I don't know if she understood what I was trying to say with my baking. And I know she's above me station because she's a knight and all that. And it's not like I'm trying to rise above me station. I'm very happy being a bakester, but she's just so nice, and she's almost as strong as me, and that's very rare to find. And I was just wondering, Dr. RPG, if you could tell me, give me ideas or suggestions, any help really, on how I can tell her how I feel about her, without it sounding like I'm just trying to, be a suck up or something. I just want her to know, she doesn't have to reciprocate, but I just want to tell her, and I don't know how to go about that. So if you could help me out, that would be fantastic. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have a lovely day.
That's an excellent question, and I am glad that you called in. I am going to be more than able to help. But first, I would love to pivot to our guest here. Lalonde, do you have any thoughts?
Oh, yes. Let's see. I will only accept a suitor who bests me in combat, so I believe this person should try that.
So the baker should attack the knight.
Yes, viciously.
My advice, and I appreciate that perspective, my advice would be to focus on using your buns. That seems to be the way that you best express yourself. So perhaps a message written on the next batch of buns that you deliver to the knight. Maybe a I like you, do you like me? Eat the yes if it's yes, and eat the no if it's no. Something creative, something charming. Keep it live, keep it interesting. What about you, Susie? Do you have any thoughts?
Well, I don't know who this knight is. They sound delightfully beautiful, tall, strong, handsome, and very impressive in all regards. But I think it maybe perhaps a mixture of the two. If this knight likes the buns, keep up with the buns. But also, she definitely seems to have respected your strength there, Aethelfrith. Now, word on the grapevine is you bested her in an arm wrestling competition. Well, maybe you should take that to the next level. I think she'd like that.
All right. So, I personally have never attacked someone that I've been interested in. So this is a new perspective, indeed. Well, I hope that these three viewpoints have been able to get you closer to that lady knight that you're interested in. I hope it works out for you two crazy kids. With that, I think we're ready to help someone else.
Right, hello, is this thing working? Alright, I think I'm on the air. Oi, quiet it down, I'm on this newfangled telephone over here. Shut it. Pardon me, anyways, so I'm calling in because, I've got this friend who, well, his first name's not the problem, it's his last name, his family name, you could say. Anyways, all the heroes that come through the village, they mispronounce it. So, I mean, the first name, like I said, no problem. Holden, it's a perfectly fine first name. But the last name, they keep pronouncing it, and he can't seem to get them to stop saying it the wrong way. And the reason I'm calling is for advice on how do you get murderous heroes to, well, I mean, heroes are the words that they use, but around here we just call them arses. Not to their face, of course not, but anyways, I digress. How do you get the heroes to stop using the incorrect pronunciation of the last name? Because it sounds like something rather inappropriate, and my poor friend Holden, he's getting ready to murder the lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's out for blood. So how exactly should we get him to calm down? And more importantly, how do you get people to use the proper pronunciation of your last name? That is my question. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I thought I heard a raven for a second. Thank you very much for that question. That was a very interesting question. Well, again, I would love to start with you, Lalande. You seem to have a pride in your last name, Dumont, I believe it was. So, if someone were to mispronounce your last name, one, could you take us through how you would feel, and two, how would you go about helping our caller here?
Oh, if someone were to mispronounce the name bestowed upon me by my family, I would feel enraged, violent. I would have to enact my revenge on whoever would do such a disrespectful thing. And so I think it is in this Holden person's best interest to strike fear into the hearts of those who disrespect him and the name of his family.
I generally would agree. It does sound like this Holden, and I can only imagine what his last name would be. I'd imagine that this Holden's anger is going to drive him to do something that he might regret. Apparently he's going forth to attack heroes. I believe it was. So, is there something that you would advise to calm that temper down? How would you calm yourself down if someone who was stronger than you mispronounced your last name?
Someone stronger than me. Okay.
Yes.
So we are playing make believe. I see. I think maybe I would take a hot bath. Have maybe my manservants come and massage me. So perhaps Holden could do that. Get his manservants to massage him.
Yeah, I think that would be a great place to start. Finding something that relaxes you, Holden. I think that would be a great place to start. Personally, I have had my last name mispronounced a few times. It was a whole mix-up, but once you talk to people, generally they're able to understand that this is a part of you and they should respect it. So so far, our advice to you, Holden, would be find a relaxing activity, have a conversation with these people, and Susie, let's have you cap it off. What would you do?
Well, luckily, this is a problem I myself have experienced and still experience to this day. For you see, my name is Susanna with one N, not two. That's one N. But after I beat the sixth person to death with a rubber chicken, now when the red mist descends, all I do is go into my closet of implements. I find that rubber chicken. I smile as I see the gore and viscera still dried to it, and I squeeze it. And I squeeze it tightly. And then as it screams, I release. And with that release, the anger is gone.
So we should move to our next caller then. A rubber chicken? Sorry.
Hello,
Next caller.
Dr. RPG. My name is Eliab, and I sincerely hope you can lend me some aid to a problem I seem to be having with the crew of this ship I'm on. The possibility I was hired on to be their captain, but they only seem to be wanting me as a figurehead. A figurehead, I say. And some of the crew here doesn't seem very likely inclined to show me the respect I feel I deserve being in a position such as this. After all, I am a prophet for the faceless, and I have a special calling and mission from them. Don't believe those fools that label me as a heretic. And I'm doing my part as a member of the crew here. Marco, can't you see I'm on the Trans-Horizon communicator? Yes, I'll be teaching you and Dahlia more about talisman making later. Just let me finish my call here. I swear sometimes that boy has less sense inside of him than an empty piggyback bank unless he's behind the helm flying this thing. But anyway, I eagerly await an enlightening response from you on how I can deal with all these people here on this ship and get them at least a modicum of the respect I feel I deserve based on my position. Thank you very much.
Ship life. You know, I spent a summer at sea. It's quite a time. Well, now, do you have any experience on a vessel?
Oh, I do. I spent a bit of time on a ship with my fellow adventurers. It was great. They loved me.
So how did you get them to the point where they loved you? It sounds like our caller is having a difficult time finding a way to have good group cohesion.
Oh, well, that is simple. You have to prove that you are the one in charge by any means necessary. For me, they just knew instinctively I was the most powerful. But for this person, have they tried maybe withholding the rations of their shipmates until they cooperate?
Are you suggesting that he starve his crewmates?
Only until they cooperate.
Won't that lead to a mutiny?
Oh, is this person not strong enough to handle a mutiny? faith in your listeners, Doctor.
I mean, I generally here we don't try to give advice that would get people, killed.
I do not believe this listener is a coward or a weakling. They called you. Have faith and trust in those that love you, Doctor. Face the mutiny like the champion you are.
That is one piece of advice. Face the mutiny like the champion you are. I personally recommend having a group sit down, perhaps over whiskey, tea, and just hashing out your problems reasonably. Most of the time, people, they don't understand the lines that they cross when they're crossing them, and making sure to expose those lines and expressing the hurt that they cause, that is generally going to be your best way forward. And be sure not to use accusatory statements. Use I feel statements. For example, Susie, I feel afraid when you mention your murderous rubber chicken.
Then it has its intended effect.
So, what advice would you give, Susie?
Oh, excuse me, just
excuse
one
me.
moment. Yes,
Excuse
what
me.
was it?
Open up. Open up. This is the Fun
Who is it?
Police.
Yeah.
Fun Police, we've got a warrant.
Fun, please.
Place next door has been complaining.
What? Of
Could we
what?
speak?
Why?
Could we speak to the proprietor? Thank you very much.
Yes, just one moment. I'll be right back. Don't mind
Open
me.
Yes, I
up.
can handle that really quickly.
Just going
Thank
to
you.
just 2 seconds. Just bear with me. Got my pen.
Okay,
It's,
yep.
it's gonna be fine.
Okay, yeah. Just it's the pen is in case she needs to sign anything. That's all.
Right,
it is.
miss. We've got just a little complaint. We're following up. You don't need to. No, you don't need to.
Who was it that was complaining? What's their name? Where do they live?
Place next door. What are you doing with a pen?
Nothing.
Why-
Don't mind
why?
this. Don't mind this. It's just
Why-
a pen. Just a pen.
It's
Now,
She's
just
a
a
great negotiator.
place next door. We're following up on.
if
we've
you
heard
could just come a little bit
screams.
closer, just a little bit closer. I have difficulty hearing you. Is all.
All right. All right. So just a couple
Okay.
of screams. We've been.
She just has a way with people.
Oh, oops, oopsie. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, problem dealt with. Oh, dear, hair is a terrible mess.
Is everything
gonna-
okay? There's nothing you need to sign.
yes,
or
I'm just going
anything?
to need a new pen and maybe a new mug. But anyway, so my advice would be to either be completely passive and completely neglect all of your duties and see how much they miss you when it's critical and your hands could literally save a life. Just don't be there. They'll learn a harsh lesson. They'll probably die. Or B, assert your dominance, eat the smallest crew member.
As a metaphor, of course.
No, literally eat them.
Next caller.
Hey Doc, my name's Soul. You may have heard of me if you're a Stick Kick fan. MVP 2 years in a row, Junior League, Go Hounds. I'm contacting you today with a question. You see, when I played Stick Kick, I learned a lot about teamwork and about what it takes to be a good team leader. And recently I was conscripted into the military special unit. The leader of the team is this guy named Teeth. And you see, well, I'm having some trouble with him as a leader. I've always believed with my whole heart, everything in me, that everybody deserves a second chance, a shot at redemption. And I've always tried to give everybody that benefit, but I'm having a hard time with this guy. See, I've got this team of fantastic people, and we're all out here doing our best to save the world. We do everything that Teeth asks us to do. We even take care of some personal problems that he had, but every time he sends us out on a dangerous mission, he disappears, you know, and then he comes back when we're done to claim success for training us or whatever. But he didn't do anything, you know. We did everything. We put our lives in the line, and when we brought it up, he just sort of says, you know, hey, I'm not here to be your friend or your dad, or, you know, I'm just here to point the tool in the right direction. But, you know, a good leader is supposed to care about their people. And I'm having a hard time giving this guy a second chance. So, any advice for me, Doc?
Wow, that person sounds really, really hurt by what this individual is doing to them. Pardon, this gentleman's name was Teeth. Interesting. I would love to know your thoughts on this, Lalonde. Do you have any experience in a situation like this?
Something about this Teeth fellow sounds awful familiar. And the entire situation, in fact, sounds very familiar to me. For once, actually, Doctor, if you really are a doctor, I actually would like your advice first.
Oh, well, of course. And that's, of course, to giving you advice and that I'm a doctor, because I am a doctor. Okay. So, my advice is this Teeth gentleman does seem to be a bit callous. Leadership is a very difficult thing. It's a very difficult mantle for anybody to wear. It's something that one has to grow accustomed to. And it sounds like this Teeth individual is just learning how to be a good leader. It sounds like they have quite a bit of work to do in terms of understanding how to communicate with their team. Perhaps there is a reason behind the things that they're doing, a greater understanding of where he's sending his team. This is something that I would sit down with Teeth and have a conversation about. Leadership, good leadership, in fact, should learn from the people that they're guiding, I believe. Your thoughts, Lalonde?
I appreciate your opinion, your expert opinion. I do believe the team should form a mutiny and kill this Teeth fellow. He seems to have put the soul person through a lot, and I think he needs to go.
I think, in not trying to diagnose you or anything, but I think that we're jumping to murder perhaps a mite quickly. Communication before murder is generally a much better way to go about things. You might end up finding a new ally if you don't immediately stab someone. You understand?
Are their last words not communication enough?
Yes, but those are the last words. That's where the communication stops.
Yes, because they die and then the problem is done.
But what if they don't die?
The problem.
You die?
No, I don't.
But, I mean, the thing is, this is a big, wide multiverse, and you never know what people are capable of. I mean, who knows? Susie might have some sort of dark, mysterious secret or something.
No, I like Susie. I think she's lovely.
Thank you. You are too.
I mean, I do as well. That's why it's outlandish to even think that there would be some sort of dark, secret life that she leads. She's such a sweetheart.
That's right, I am. And my advice falls again between the two of you. There's initially, Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You don't know what's going on in this Teeth's life. There may be something there that's causing him to act out in such a manner. He may be feeling the stress of this responsibility of being a commander. On the other hand, Throwing the whole man into the ocean and starting again is also an incredibly valid strategy. I know a thing or two about revenge myself. After my third time I was left at the altar by a certain lord of a demiplane of dread, he didn't make that mistake again, let me tell you.
Timmy, Lord of Flame, you're crazy.
Just wacky stories.
But what do you think about that, Lalonde? Do you think that we've been able to successfully give Soul the tools needed to navigate this tricky situation with Teeth?
I think that Soul is at a good place with all of our advice. I hope Soul listens to me most, however.
Sounds good to me. But do try to leave murder as a last resort.
Dear
sorry,
Mr. Dr. RPG. So, see this? I keep doing this. I keep accidentally insulting people. This is why I'm calling in, actually, Dr. RPG. My name's Mari, and I'm hanging out at a gala. They call it a Gala of the Damned, which, in my opinion, is a little bit on the nose. But there's a lot of fancy folk around, and, well, I feel like I'm not really fitting in, right? It's just a little bit depressing, to be perfectly honest, to have all that wealth flaunted in your face, and you can just talk to the servants and they give you food, but they're fucking creepy, let me tell you. Anyway, I'm not 100% sure how to phrase this, but why are upper class people all shite? That's really my question. I had to unload that somewhere. Thanks for listening. Keep going. Doing an amazing job there. Cheers.
Lalonde, would you like to give us a perspective on why all upper class people are shite?
I can understand how hard and sad it must be to be poor. So this person's obvious jealousy and resentment of people like myself for having money and class and warm, soft beds to sleep at night and soft, sweet desserts to eat every day, it must wear on them. So I hope this person understands that maybe that is why we are shite. We have so many nice things, it makes them sad. I don't know.
I can't help but get the feeling that you're personally slighted by this question. Is there anything that you need to get off of your chest?
You know, I just feel like as a rich person, I am being oppressed. I am being stereotyped, and I don't like it.
I understand.
They were invited to a nice gala, and this is how they treat the rich? Disgusting.
Susie, do you have thoughts?
I have many and many which are not appropriate to say live on air, but I would just like to say to our wonderful caller, it's not our fault that you grew up with nothing. It's not our fault that we're better than you. I'm sorry, that's just the way of the world. You'll just have to deal with it. And you should be, as Lalonde said, you should be grateful you received an invitation to the gala. Not so many people are as lucky as that. Be grateful, is what I'm saying.
Personally, I feel that I have experienced life as a have and a have not. And really, truly, your happiness comes from within. It's not the amount of money that you have or you don't have, or the amount of money that someone else has or doesn't have that makes you happy. You know, you have to work on finding what it is about them that makes you feel down, because you are in control of your own feelings. And yes, sometimes people with a lot of wealth can be somewhat obnoxious with it. That's par for the course.
Can I just interject here? Because there's nothing more obnoxious than a beggar on the street going, "Oh, I'm poor. My wife and children haven't eaten in a week. Give us your money. Oh, please." That's obnoxious. I'm just trying to spend all my spurious wealth in one go, and here they are begging for coins on the street.
Preach.
That,
It is awful.
Ruin the view, honestly.
I mean, they're hungry, is the thing.
Listen, all I am saying is, where do you think this person was when they made this ill-timed call to us? Probably somewhere dark and damp and cold. You know where I am? Somewhere soft and luxurious and warm. And whose fault is that? Not mine. I have money to give, yes. But am I going to give it? No. And that is the end of the discussion.
Honestly, they should just try harder not to be poor.
I'm surrounded. It's like there's two of them. Well, caller, I hope that our advice was able to help you. Truly, just focus on your own happy and don't pay no mind to what the haves and the have-nots have. I think we helped that person. What is this, Lalad? What is this?
Oh, that is me dropping my coins on the ground. It's all gold. I have enough to just drop.
Also, you can donate to the poor.
But will I?
Let's take another call.
Hey, Dr. RPG dude. This is Octavius Man, Octo Man, and I'm just calling in because, like, I got this problem, man. Got this friend who I really like hanging out with, but I'm worried he might be a vampire. Like, he never comes out during the day, he never comes down to the beach when I'm surfing, he'll only hang out with me at night. And like, sometimes recently, man, he's been licking his lips an awful lot when he looks at me. And the other night, I ordered a garlic and cheese pizza, and I put it down on the table, and dude, he flipped that table. He flipped the entire table, and I thought to myself, man, if he's a vampire, of course he doesn't want garlic pizza. So, like, I guess I'm just wondering, how do I ask him if he's a vampire, man? Like, how do I do that without offending him or making him mad? Because, like, I don't want him to eat me either if he is a vampire. So, that's all, dude. Thank you, man. Your show's an inspiration. I'm a long-time listener. Take care of yourself.
Viol is my friend, a vampire problem. Very, very familiar with it. Have you encountered any vampires, Lola?
Oh, yes. It almost killed my friends. It was very traumatizing for me personally.
Were you able to identify it right away?
I will admit, no, we were not. We had some problems amongst ourselves. We had other things to worry about.
I see. And Susie, do you have any experience with vampires?
Oh, lots. But it's important to remember that vampires are people too. So he's still your friend, whether or not he is a blood-sucking creature of the night. So you need to just sit him down, friend to friend, and ask him that question. You say, dude, are you a vampire? And that's all it is. That's all it is. He's still your friend.
That's absolutely correct. And just with the clues that you've given us, sir, I don't know that they exactly mean that he's a vampire. I mean, licking his lips at you, that could mean a plethora of things. Being absolutely outraged by garlic pizza sounds absolutely normal to me. I don't know what kind of a sick individual would put garlic on a pizza. That's just, I mean, personally, it's close to blasphemy if you ask me. That would be almost as disgusting, honestly, if you were to, I don't know, put fruit on a pizza. That would also be a crime against nature. Or if you were to get it from the realm of New York, I believe it's called, that pizza is also disgusting. So we're not sure that this person is a vampire. But if they are, I agree with Susie. I believe that you should just ask them outright, and have a wooden stake on you just in case. Never hurts to be prepared.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry to cut you off there, Lalonde. But I would just like to state, why would you need a stake? Not all vampires deserve to die. This is.
Oh no! I'm just saying, if you need to defend yourself.
The caller said they're friends. Why would he need to defend himself?
Well, I don't know about you, but I've gotten into several disagreements with my friends. Where sometimes
Well,
violence...
so have I, and some are vampires, but they didn't try to rip my throat out. I am shocked that this is coming from you, Doc. I am honestly appalled.
I never said to use the stake. I said just to have it. You can use it as a bit of a deterrent. Just in case he bears his fangs, you go, hey, I've got this thing on me, and I know how to use it. And then that usually de-escalates things, and you can have a civil conversation with your friend.
I'm not touching that one. Lalonde, you were about to say?
Yes. From what this person has said, I don't think it's a vampire. Perhaps this person just has a crush on their friend. They go out at night together, romantic. They don't want to eat garlic. They do not want their breath to smell bad when they kiss. They're licking their lips. Very spicy. Perhaps that is what it is. Are you attractive, caller? Maybe that is it.
Please, caller, when you can, call back in and let us know, are you attractive?
All right. Well, moving swiftly on before we get lawsuits up the wazoo, we have one last call, and I believe it's coming from beyond the fourth wall.
Hello, Dr. RPG. Stream Mum here. Just a quick question. I'm very concerned about my daughter. I hear very strange voices coming from her room. Can you help, please? Thank you.
Strange voices coming from her room. It could be a plethora of things. The first that comes to mind is perhaps possession. I once had a terrible experience where just ghost after ghost took control of my body and made me do all manners of terrible things. Speaking in tongues that I don't know, saying words backwards, listening to Led Zeppelin, just all manners of things that I regret. So, Lalonde, do you have any experience with hearing voices just coming from a friend or a family member's room?
Not necessarily. We have had voices coming from people that do not necessarily belong to them. I've dealt with that a lot. I've had voices in my head, not necessarily coming from any room, though.
And you, Susie, have you dealt with voices?
Well,
coming from another room?
Well, I've dealt with voices of all calibers, but I happen to know this caller, and I happen to know their daughter, and unfortunately, she has a terrible case of role-player-itis. She seems to be possessed regularly, almost every weekday, between the hours of 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, by a certain set of characters. And I know that sometimes these characters can overtake her body, and she dons herself in paints and wears strange wigs and costumes. It is a terrible affliction, and I hope that she can get some recovery soon. It's an awful, awful thing to witness.
I mean, truly fortunate to have such punctual ghosts, though. The fact that they have a set schedule for possession, truly.
Honestly, you can set your watch by it.
Well, I do wish that caller the best of luck with their daughter. Sounds like.
Sorry to interrupt, hey Doc. I am just receiving information here from the World Health Organization. Role-player-itis is deadly contagious, and if you've ever shared a call, a chat, a Twitter DM with this person, you are likely infected.
Oh, goodness. So I imagine it's only a matter of time before Stream Mom starts to get possessed with voices and characters and paints.
Yep. Yep. You hate to see it.
Well, Godspeed. Godspeed, Stream Mom. Do you have any thoughts, Lilith?
No.
All right. Well, I think we did a lot of good today, and I would just like to ask you both, what do you feel is the most crucial bit of information that we were able to bestow on the adventurers that called in today?
I think letting your viewers know that they are strong and can handle a mutiny just on their own. That's powerful.
And you, Susie?
Assert your dominance, eat the smallest.
And try and save murder for last. That'll be this episode of Dr. RPG. And now, thank you all for watching. There should be a better transition for like out of character, but there's not one. Thank you all for watching. I'm gonna have you all go around and say your names, where we can find you, and what you're up to. So, Lalaj, who are you, and what are you up to?
I'm Joy. You can find me on Twitter at suddenly at peace. I do nothing but Stan Luna. So
I knew it was coming eventually.
you heard it.
Stan Luna, y'all. And Susie?
Hey, I'm Susie, otherwise known as Susanna Grace. I'm a variety streamer who does video games, art streams, and tabletop RPGs. You will next see me on the internet tomorrow on twitch.tv/follow Black Cats at 3 p.m. Eastern for the return of After the Fire. We've had a 5-year time skip in Westeros, and I'm now playing 18-year-old Miria Greenmont, and I'm going to become the Queen of Dawn.
And I am Noir Enigma. You can find me on all the socials as Noir Enigma. You'll find me in the next 2 hours, in fact, over at Last HP Hero, where we're doing a Curse of Strahd. Tomorrow, you'll find me at Chromatic Chimera to the Perilous Sun. Again, thank you all for coming by and watching. I hope you had a blast. And just one more time for Joy, my awesome sister. This was so much fun. I love you. All right, so with that, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you all again, and have a great day.
Past Charlie here to tell you about a few of our sponsors. Fantasy Grounds is our virtual tabletop of choice, providing us access to roles, tokens, maps, and more. You can try it today for free at fantasygrounds.com. While you're there, why not check out Fantasy Grounds Unity? World Anvil is a remarkable resource, whether you're a writer, GM, or player, organizing your campaign notes or building an entire world. Get forging today for free at worldanvil.com. And before we get into today's game, we'd like to shout out our friends at Andrews McMeel Publishing, who published the wonderful game Zweihander. If you haven't checked that out, you can catch it here on Wednesdays. We'd also like to mention Modiphius, who manage and produce a wide range of RPGs. Whether you feel like being Dishonored, exploring a tale from the loop, or boldly going with Star Trek adventures, why not check out Modiphius.com?